Good evening, everyone, and welcome into this week's edition of the Bullring. I'm your host, Derek Diesner, and tonight we will break down the week that was in Matador athletics. We'll sit down with Lady Matadors Softball coach Nikki Bethurum, and we'll also check in with Matador Baseball. We have a lot on tap for you this evening, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. The Bullring continues right after this. Welcome back, everyone, into the Bullring. Derek Diesner back with you. It's now time to check in with the second-ranked Lady Matadors Softball program, and we now welcome in the head coach of the Lady Matadors, Nikki Bethurum. Nikki, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.
You know, I say second-ranked Lady Matadors, but for all we know, it could be first-ranked later on this week.
Yeah, well, we'll wait till the poll comes out to figure that one out.
Let's talk about your team's performances last week, both on the road at Mesa early in the week, then at Glendale. First, we'll talk about Mesa, and in game one, you win that 11-3, a final 5 innings. Your team really likes to get these games over with quickly. Yes,
it's very nice, especially if we're on the road, because it gets us home a little bit quicker. But we've been hitting well, so it kind of helps us out a lot.
And the hitting continued. You score 11 runs in game one, 10 in game two, and you win that game 10-0 again in 5 innings. You outscore Mesa 21-3. So not only was your offense very productive, but your pitching excelled once again.
Yes, the pitching did real well against Mesa on Tuesday, and we saw a really strong performance from Ashley Rex in the second game, holding him to no run. So that was nice to see.
Ashley Rex did well again later in the week as your team traveled to Glendale, a couple of wins there. First, let's focus on game one. That was a close ball game. You win that final 6-4.
Yeah, our energy wasn't there to start like it normally is, and our energy usually sees what our bats are going to do, and so we were a little bit slow at the beginning of the game, and we came and got a couple runs later on in the game. I think they had already scored once or twice before that, so it was nice to see us in a little bit of a come from behind, a little pressure situation. So it's nice to get that. We're going to get those against the tougher teams too. So
yeah, a good late season test.
Right.
In game two, you win that game in run rule fashion, 13-5, the final. The bats woke up there in game two.
Yeah, that was definitely nice. The bats woke up. Robin had 2 home runs that game, I believe, and had another, I don't remember who now, 2 or 3 other home runs that day. So, I mean, it's nice to see that. And the energy kind of came after the first game, after we got some lunch into them. And I think you could see the difference in the energy from the second game to the first game big time. And you can definitely see that at the end of the day, you can have seen the scores and, difference in the scores as well. So. Yes,
and a perfect 4-0 last week. Playing some of the lower competition in the conference, were you able to make some adjustments with your lineup, maybe get some players in there that normally don't get a lot of playing time?
Yeah, especially once the score got up there, we got some girls some at bats, so that was nice to see a little bit here and there. So.
All right. Now, looking at your games on Saturday against Glendale, I wanted to talk to you about your starters, Haley Miller, Ashley Rex. They've really done a great job for you this season, and the wins and their win-loss record, their ERAs, it's just been phenomenal. Could you have dreamed at the start of this season that your 2 starters would have done this well?
Well, I mean, a lot of that, they've been doing well too, but a lot of that comes in with the bats too. So, yeah. I mean, it's a combination of everybody. Wins, I don't necessarily think is a pitching stat. I think it's a team stat. So, yeah. Just so happens the pitchers get it as part of their pitching line. But, I mean, both of them doing awesome to keep us in the ball game, same as the defense. The defense are knocking balls down. I think we have some of the most double plays turned in the entire U.S., so that's also pretty cool. Mm-hmm. We turn at least 1, 2, 3 double plays a day, so that's always nice. It helps when the pitchers, walk a batter, and they can get us a ground ball, we get a nice little double play, and we're 2 outs now instead of just 1 out with a runner on first or something. It makes a big difference.
Now, Ashley Rex, a freshman this year, one of your your starters, what have you thought of her freshman campaign, and what is she doing in the circle to make her so effective?
Oh, she's really consistent at practice. Even when she first got here, you could tell she had a set pattern. Mm-hmm. She's consistent at practice, works on so much of each pitch and in the same order, and is really detailed, really, wants to be out there getting better. So she's got a lot of drive to make herself better, and I think that makes a big difference when you can see it in games.
Looking at the week ahead, another road game on Tuesday. You'll be at South Mountain for a pair of ball games. Then you finally return home for a 3-game homestand, starting with Phoenix on Saturday. And Phoenix, again, right up there atop the conference standings, not far behind you. You split with them earlier this season. So big games coming up this week.
Yes, definitely. We got word on the bus on the way home the other day against Glendale that Phoenix had actually beat Central both games at Central's place. So we've definitely got some tough competition coming up for us.
And let's talk about Saturday with Phoenix. Not only is it going to be a big game because they're a top team, they're a team you split with earlier this year, but there's a lot going on Saturday. Before the ball game, the softball field will be renamed for the late and former Lady Matador head coach Charlie Dine. We'll have a little pregame ceremony starting at 11 a.m. Public is invited to attend. Admission to the game is free, and coming out before the game for the ceremony, that's free as well. But, what kind of possible distractions come along with that?
Well, there'll be a lot of stuff going on, so that'll be key to stay focused during warm-up, and then for the players just treat it as any other day with a really tough opponent out there. And I don't think we'll have a problem with energy or drive. We've been pretty good on those tough games to get that energy up. So it'll be a really fun game to watch for sure for any of the fans out there. So definitely something to go to.
Final question for you. We kind of talked about it in the open. Your team's ranked second, but they could move to 1 this week after the number 1 team lost this past week. What distractions or what problems come along with being ranked number 1, knowing that you're the top dog and everyone's going to want to knock you off?
Well, the nice thing is number 2 wasn't too far away from number 1, so I think we faced some of the same pressures already, but I guess number 1 has just a little bit more to it since it's the top dog. So I mean, the best thing we could do is just keep playing our game and act as if nothing's changed and go out there and play as best we can.
All right. Well, Nikki, good luck this week. We look forward to Saturday. Should be great games on the field and some great things going on off the field before the game as well.
Thank you.
All right. That was head coach Nikki Bethurum here on the Bullring. We're going to take a break and be back right after this. It's time now to talk Matador Baseball. Derek Diesner back with you, and I'm now joined by head baseball coach Drew Keene. Coach, what a week it was for your team. You knew going in it was going to be a big week with the games you had on the schedule. Started out with Yavapai here at home in a really important series, knowing that you two were battling for playoff positioning.
Yeah, and so, the deal was we wanted to go in and sweep, and we came away with the loss the first game. Their guy was, again, the same guy we faced on the mound. I thought it was, it's pretty good, but we were able to come away with a split, which kind of kept us where we were and kept them where they were, and just still give us an opportunity to, catch up.
In that first game, you fell 4-0. Offense didn't really get going, but you got a strong pitching performance in that first game. You had to be pleased with that.
Travis pitched well, and then Rosenkrantz came in and pitched, and I think we used Bishop as well. So the pitching was good enough, I thought. Mm-hmm. We just really didn't get anything started on the offensive side, but I thought Travis was competitive.
The offense woke up in game 2. You win that game by a final of 11-8. And you had to be pleased knowing that, you wanted that sweep, but you at least get a split, and the guys didn't hang their heads after a tough game 1 loss.
Yeah, we were down, and then we came back, and then we were up, and then they came back, and then, we finished off, a strong third part of the game, the last 3 innings there. So they did a good job of battling and sort of hanging in there and timely hitting and taking advantage of some of their mistakes that Yavapai made late in the game, not covering the plate and then taking an extra base. So this team has been pretty resilient with all the injuries and stuff like that. And they have that resiliency and they they didn't quit that day, and we haven't seen any of that in this team.
with the stakes being as high as they were for those ball games against Yavapai, what were the emotions like in the dugout? Especially after following a tough luck loss and then the back and forth high scoring battle in game 2.
Well, I mean, they were pretty high. I mean, I think, in the first game, it was a little bit like, oh, we're down, we face this guy again, can we do it? And, I mean, he just sort of neutralized us a little bit. He swung at some bad pitches, and he kind of was effectively wild. Like, you never knew when he was going to be in the strike zone. So, but in game 2, I mean, it was pretty intense. I mean, it's intense down the stretch here, and so I think that the guys were sort of knew they had to bring a little bit more energy based on the result of game 1.
And we saw a few ejections in the games against Yavapai, 3 total. And I think the one that hurt the most, obviously, Travis Garcia Pereira. How much longer is he going to be out? And what changes with this team, knowing that you lose not only a pitcher with Travis, but also the offensive production he brings to your ball club?
Yeah, I mean, he'll pitch. He'll be back the second game tomorrow at Cochise, so he'll be on the mound there. Yeah, I mean, the changes are we need to change our language. Really, is what it comes down to. We need to be able to manage ourselves, and I need to convey a better idea of what the expectation is. Not that so much I haven't done that, but I guess I need to revisit that, which I did this week, in terms of how we handle sportsmanship and how we treat the game of baseball. I mean, those are the changes we need to make. On the offensive side and pitching wise, Travis really is only going to miss that he wouldn't pitch in game 1. So, and then, I mean, offensively, again, it shortens our bench. I mean, we had 9 active position players. So, with a couple injuries and Travis being out, it leaves us a little shorthanded.
After the split with Yavapai, you had a few days off to prepare for one of the top teams in the ACCAC with South Mountain. They came here this past Saturday, a split with the Cougars. But let's first talk about game 1. You come out strong, you win 5-0, and you blank one of the top teams in the conference.
Well, you mentioned the ejection, and I was ejected on Saturday or Tuesday against Yavapai, so I didn't see the game. I was able to watch it online, but Brandon had really good command of his stuff, and his breaking ball was a little bit better, and we played good defense, and we got off to a good start against with Lopez getting a couple runs, and we tacked one on. So good pitching performance by Brandon in game 1. And then, we made some mistakes in game 2. We offensively were really good that day, I thought. We scored 5 and then we scored 8. But we gave away too many free bases in game 2. Too many free bases means that they get another at-bat and they get to advance, and then we made a few errors. And the errors may not have hurt us on the run side, but it gives them another at-bat. So it catches up to you later in the game. And, the more at-bats a team gets, the odds change. So, we weren't able to make a catch along the first baseline. We botched a play in the first inning. We weren't ready for a ball at first in the 4th or 5th inning. And those things led to 3 runs. And we ended up, coming back in the 9th, which was great. But really, we should have been 4 or 5 runs. We should have allowed 4 or 5 runs, and we would have, done what we did in the 9th. We'd come away with the sweep. So, hindsight's 20/20, but we need to execute a little bit better a lot better on the defensive side.
Game 2 obviously was a winnable game, like you're talking about. So let's talk about that. Again, one of the top teams in the conference, and you almost come away with a sweep. That has to give your team some momentum, again, coming down with these final few weeks, battling to make the postseason.
Yeah, it's been like that. With this team, is like we're so close, but we either, don't pitch it and play defense well, or we don't get any offense that day. So I mean, momentum, it's really like, momentum is it's a game of momentum. We like that momentum. We want to keep that momentum, but we need to find a way to scrap it when we're not playing real well and change the direction of our bad momentum instead of, hey, momentum is great. We won the last game. We're going to go out and try to push it forward. But when we're not going well, we need to be able to flip it around. So that's going to be the challenge here the last 8 games.
Pitching-wise, I wanted to go back and talk about Brandon Anderson. He gets the shutout victory, the complete game performance in Game 1 against South Mountain. Brandon, a sophomore this year, obviously one of the guys you lean on, but had to be leaned on that much more on Saturday, knowing that they were without you, without Travis. But yet, he battles hard, does a great job on the mound, and gets that victory for your team. How big was that for this team that the sophomore really stepped up and did what he had to do to get that victory?
Yeah, I mean, that's just in his character. I mean, he doesn't back away from a challenge, and, that's how he was raised, and that's how he came in here, and he's just shown a lot of resilience in a season that's been very difficult for us so far as a group. He wants the season to be going different at this point, and he did everything he could to try to turn that around. And it's just the kind of kid he is. I mean, I shouldn't say kid. It's just the kind of man he is, and sort of put the team on his back and said, "Hey, I'm gonna be a leader here," which is what we call on him to be, and then was able to really go out and be a leader and execute.
Right. Overall, we look at your record right now, 27-20, 12-18 in conference play. A couple of more big games this week. Starting Tuesday, travel to Douglas to take on Cochise for a pair of ball games. Then you close out the week Saturday in Thatcher against Eastern Arizona. They're currently at the bottom of the ACC/AC standings. I know you're going to want to get that sweep against Eastern, but let's first talk about these games against Cochise. Another big set of games here for your ball club.
Well, we're 3 down. I mean, I think, it's going to come down to Cochise or us, really. Mm-hmm. Yavapai's in the middle there, but I think it's going to come down to the 2 of us. We play Cochise on Tuesday, and for us to be in it with the last 6, we need to go and get 2 wins.
Right.
And I think our guys realize that. And I don't know how to put less pressure on it. I don't. We need to go out. We need to, need to win a couple games. And so, it's not about splitting at this point. It's about winning every game we have left. And the guys understand that. And so when we go there, I think, we're going to have Travis game 2 and we'll have Tanner game 1 and, all arms on deck and just grind it out and battle it out. It's not the easiest place to play in Cochise, but we've had success there, and I've had success as an assistant at Central and a head coach here. So, I enjoy playing down there because I think most teams don't, and so I look at it as a challenge, and we'll be, our guys will be ready to get out there and battle with them on Tuesday.
All right. Well, Drew, thanks for your time and good luck this week.
Thanks, Derek.
All right, that was head coach Drew Keene of the Matador Baseball team. It's time for us to take a break, but we'll be back with more right here on the Bullring. A reminder, fans, to join us here at the AWC softball field this Saturday when Phoenix College comes to town. It'll be a clash between 2 of the top teams in the ACC/AC, and we'll also have a big pregame ceremony starting at 11 a.m. as right above us, the softball field will be renamed in honor of former Lady Matador Softball coach and athletic director Charlie Dine. Again, the ceremony starts at 11 a.m. and everyone in the public is invited to attend, and as always, admission is free. A couple of news and notes from this past week in Matador athletics. A congratulations goes out to Anthony Alston of the Matador men's basketball team for being named an NJCAA All-American. He was named to the honorable mention list. Also, Samantha Wallace on the Matador women's basketball team was named third team All-American. That is the second straight year that Samantha Wallace has been an All-American. During her freshman year here at AWC, she was named to the honorable mention team. Also a reminder that Spirit Team tryouts are currently going on. For more information on that, you can visit our athletics homepage. And finally, a congratulations to former Matador soccer player Abraham Vallone, who signed with the Oklahoma City Energy of the USL. Abraham was here in 2010, so congratulations to him on signing his first professional contract. A big thank you to all of our coaches who joined us today on the Bullring, and to you, the fans. We hope to see you out here this Saturday for the field dedication ceremony as Phoenix College comes to town to take on your Lady Matador Softball team. I'm Derek Diesner saying thanks so much for tuning in to this week's edition of the Bullring.